Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Medieval Engineers, and that means there's a new update. Now, on the face of things, this update looks like it's predominantly for the new survival mode. The last few updates have been really focused on that, so it's not really too surprising that this update focuses on that as well. But there are a couple minor things that were in the patch notes that I think might have ramifications on some other things that I'm going to have a look at later in the video, and we'll see what effects they have. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on the main features of these updates. And first off, we have more blocks added into the survival mode. Again, not too surprising. The roof tile and things like that have been added in. That's what we have to, we kind of expect these kind of changes. So I'm not too surprised there. Another thing that they added, though, and this has to do with the blocks, is the fact that you can't build on a non-completed block. So just as an example here, I'm going to place this block, and I can't really get a good angle of it, so I'll place a ramp block here to get on top of, so we can see this feature in its entirety here. So the feature is I cannot build another block on top of a non-finished block. See how it's red? I click, nothing happens. So what I got to do is I have to construct this block. And for some reason that made the ramp disappear, but I think if we go ahead and whack on the invisible ramp here, it will reappear for us. That's kind of a weird bug, but in any case, if we get now on top, you see that we can legally place. So you have to finish the blocks below before you can place blocks on top. That makes logical sense. I mean, you're going to build from the ground up, and it also kind of possibly negates some issues where you build all the framework and then you start building on the top, and then logically speaking, are these twigs going to hold up a massive stone block like what we have below here? Not logically. It shouldn't. So you kind of get rid of both of those issues right out the bat with this one change. So you're going to have to kind of plan your building a little bit more conservatively. So just start with the ground level for your framework and kind of build up from the bottom up. Again, that makes logical sense though. Okay, so let's look at another one of the features. And this is one of those things where when they come out with a lot of these updates, sometimes the features in the update are not as intuitive as you would think. And the thing I'd like to demonstrate is we now have an inventory. But as you can see, I'm standing right next to a pile of wood chips here. I have my inventory, which is character, and then I have surrounding. So far, from what I've seen, things actually in the surrounding do not show up here. So maybe this hasn't been fully implemented yet. And you also have all, and that just shows, again, my inventory here. I could also do character, so I could transfer things from my character to my character. But you see surrounding, there's nothing here. Now, I've tried, using the manipulation tool, picking something up, hitting I, and again, surrounding, it's not there. I can't click on the object and drag it into the inventory. There's nothing I can do with that, as far as I'm understanding it. Now, if somebody else has a better understanding of this and they want to leave a comment, that helps out. There was something that I didn't understand with the last video I did, where it was the food, that there is only certain places that the food spawns in, because that wasn't in the patch notes. So I guess a lot of these things you kind of have to figure out by trial and error. But the one thing I figured out here is if you have a container of some sort, so we'll go ahead and put down this barrel, and you put an object into that barrel, and then you hit your inventory, it will pick up the wooden barrel as something that you can select in the inventory screen, and then you can transfer that object into your inventory. Now, your inventory has a very large volume, so at its current state, you don't really have to worry about carrying too much. And then, of course, you can then take something from your inventory and drop it out into the world. The only problem is there's no convenient way to pick that thing back up and put it back into your inventory without using some kind of container like this. So that's as far as I understand the inventory system at the moment, but I have a feeling they're going to be updating this, giving us some mechanic to pick up objects in the surroundings. As it appears, we can't yet do that. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and do a cut here, and we're going to look at the other two things that I said were, minor elements in the patch notes to see what kind of effects they have. So there's going to be a cut, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So The minor patch notes I was talking about involved hit detection of timbers and stones, and I'm hoping it had an effect on something I've had quite a problem with, and we'll have to see if this is still the case. This is very much a prototype siege weapon, and I called it a prototype because it didn't work. So what we want here is we want... I actually don't remember here which of my... There we go. So we found something, so 3 it is. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So get ourselves a large stone here and put it in our siege machine. And let's see if this thing works now, because before we had a little bit of an issue, and I want to see if it replicates that issue again. Okie dokie, I don't even know what the heck just happened there. I'm a feeling that didn't work as intended. Okay, well, let's try a different siege machine and see if this one works. This is another one that didn't work, and I'm not really explaining these siege engines here because if they work, we'll be doing a future video. If they don't work, well, then it's still an issue with the hit detection. Okay, so let's get this thing loaded up. We got 3. Oop, that's not quite what I want. All right, it's a little tricky to place a stone on this thing. Obviously, again, prototype. Oh, that one almost went in. Doesn't help that they're making me put it so far away. Come on. All right, who cares? That's not the part that I care about. The part I care about is, does the wooden beam here just clip through the other wooden beam? That's what we really care about. Or does it actually work now? It looked like it worked from my visual inspection there, so that's better. What I was having happen was essentially the one beam would just go straight through the other beam and not contact it. So we can actually get a stone in here. That would be helpful. So maybe we'll go with the small stone. That might be a little bit easier to get in the machine. There we go. And let's fire it off. Let's see if this actually works. Again, prototype machine. Mostly I was just seeing if the concept worked with this. All right, something happened. Okay, it dropped over there. So apparently they have fixed this hit detection. I'm not exactly sure what happened with this machine. Some kind of major malfunction. But I'm actually able to get this machine to now work again. Now, I don't know if it worked very well. And again, prototype, you have to understand. But it looks like they fixed this, because what was happening before is that rather than the one beam striking the other beam as it should, the beam would just completely clip through it like it wasn't even there. And this was making a lot of my siege engine prototypes obviously not work. But as we can see here, it apparently is working now, and it has the desired effect. So maybe I can actually get back to my siege engine series. I'm going to have to figure out what happened with this one. But again, these are prototypes, and they might need some fleshing out. These were just proof of concept prototypes. In any case, look away, look away. Don't look at them anymore. I don't want to spoil the ideas any more than I already have. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.